دكتور مدد يا صاحب السيف. It is reported by the Holy Prophet ﷺ, from the Holy Prophet ﷺ, that he used to fast these 10 days, very holy days. And the first 10 days, to those ones also who is opposed to zikr, who is saying zikr is bid'ah, it is haram, and all this nonsense, Prophet ﷺ is saying the first 10 days you should make especially more zikr of La ilaha illallah, more zikr of Allahu Akbar, and more zikr of Alhamdulillah. Fasting of these 10 days, it is important. And so many people in the past, the scholars and the saints, they are putting these 10 days to increase whatever worship that you have. You want to make more salawats, go ahead. You want to read more Quran. You want to make more nafila ibadat, go. Why? Why are the first 10 days? What happens on the 10th day of Dhul Hijjah? 9th day, 10th day of Dhul Hijjah. What happens then? What happened? What do we have? You're sleeping? Then why are you not answering me? You have Qurban. What is the Qurban? Why is it important? You're sleeping. You don't know why. You're sleeping. Why is Qurban important? You only know how to eat Qurban. To eat meat every year. To eat as much meat as you want. That is your idea of Qurban. Isn't it? That's what people's idea of Qurban is. Oh, the time when we're going to eat meat. They're not teaching from the young what the Qurban means. Not telling the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam or Ismail alayhi salam to relate to it and to teach the young. No. They're teaching the young Qurban, you're going to go to eat meat. So, what is a Qurban? Yeah, of course it's sacrifice, but it is what? The fifth pillar. Is it the fifth pillar? Hajj. You make Qurban when? During Hajj, right? It's Eidul Adha, isn't it? So it is the fifth pillar, which is Hajj. After you finish the Hajj, then you come down and you make the Qurban. So it is Hajj. What is the Hajj? What is the Hajj? The what? The fifth pillar of Islam. The fifth pillar of Islam. Is there a sixth pillar? No. It is the last, isn't it? It is the final one. So 10 days is like the final countdown to the fifth one, the last pillar that you are doing. From saying the Shahadat, which is personal, you're saying it. With no one else, you saying it, you declare by it. You don't say in Islam, you didn't say your Shahadat to a panel of priests or rabbis or imams. That you have to take a course to understand and then you give the Shahadat. No. You say the Shahadat and you mean it with your heart. Individual, one. What's the second? You make namaz, you pray, you make your salat. So one you say, the other one you start doing. It is still a worship. It is still now you can do, and you can do individual, and you can do in a group, you can do in a jamaat, isn't it? So now from individual it starts spreading now. It is a worship. The actions that we are doing, the angels that they are doing. The prayers, the namaz of this nation of the Prophet ﷺ was only given to the prophets. It was not given to their nation. We are praying the prayer of prophets. After that, what do we do? Huh? You don't even know your 5 pillars. Terrible stuff. Where are we going to go from here? Fasting. Now fasting, you start doing it 1 month in a year. fitna of Ahir Zaman, people doing it one day before, one day after. Some like Bangalistan, they do it 10 days after or 10 days before. I'm just joking, but I'm not joking also. They're doing it all mixed up. But mostly the whole ummah doing it once, all together, correct? So now you start spreading. And now the action from just saying to 5 times a day, you're doing it for 1 month continuously. And the worship now, it moves away from just an action to something that involves your spirit, which is your ego. It involves your ego. You deny the animal side, the egoistic side. Correct? Then after you fast, what do? You make the zakat. And the zakat now is giving up something, not to be too attached to whatever that you have, and you start giving it. Then it moves away from just speech to a prayer, then now it involves your whole body now. You stay away from food and drink and relations in the month of Ramadan. You stay away from that, and now you have to, whatever that you're earning halal, to know it doesn't belong to you. Allah has given it to you. It is an amanat. And there is the rights of others with what you are holding. Islam is teaching now, whatever that you have, it is a gift from Allah. It is a trust from Allah. And what you're holding now actually belongs to so many other people. There are at least 8 categories, correct, of people who deserve to get the charity. So now the pillar of Islam moves away from something that you just worship or something spiritual to something that involves your body, to something that involves your what? What man is holding on strongly to, whatever he has earned for himself, to say that no. Now it is part of your religion now to give. And finally, you have to give and you have to leave everything. And there is a 5th pillar. And what is that? Hajj. And what is the Hajj in reality? What is the Hajj? The Hajj is a rehearsal for what? For death, for judgment day. That you say, Labbaik Allahumma labbaik, I leave everything, here I am, O my Lord, here I am. In reality, you are repeating Allah's words. Because when we say, Ya Allah, that's the time Allah is saying to us, Labbaik, I am here, doesn't He say? Call on me, remember me and I will remember you. He didn't say, thank me and I will thank you. He says, remember me and I will remember you. Why Allah wants to thank us for? Call on me, I am near, Allah is saying. And this Hajj now is a rehearsal for our death. It's a rehearsal for Judgment Day. It's a rehearsal when you leave everything. Not only now you're taking 2.5% or whatever zakat that you're going to give. Now everything you're giving up. Even the clothes that you're wearing. Your Hajj will not be considered sah, will not be considered approved if you are not wearing the ihram. What is the ihram? The white cloth, that is our funeral shroud. Of course, there are so many other laws, or so many rules that you're supposed to carry before you go to the Hajj, when you're in the Hajj, but it's enough for you to understand. And everyone is gathering, and everyone looks the same. Everyone is in the same category. So now, the Hajj is the 5th pillar. It's the combination and the culmination of your acts of worship. Now, from something that is you're saying individually, your shahadat, you're going back to it. You're saying the shahadat again. But this time you're saying the shahadat by leaving everything and leaving everything away and having only Allah. which is the judgment day, which is your death, which is when you say labbaik Allahumma labbaik. That is a rehearsal for that, and not individually you are doing it, you're doing both individually and as a whole ummat, that the judgment day is going to happen when people of the past and the future, they're going to come together, isn't it? So now, preparing for that fifth pillar is a very important action, very important exercise. We have to understand and we have to remember this. So the days leading up to the Hajj, if we start to think a little bit more, start to worship a little bit more with this understanding, it will have more wisdom for us. It'll give us more blessings. Otherwise, the most beautiful actions will become a ritual, will become robotic, if you don't put meaning into it. And the meanings of those pillars, it is endless, endless oceans of meanings to it. But for the people who are thinking. So you may fast. Fasting the day of Arafat is very important. Thinking of the day of the Qurban, the day of Hajj, where the Hajj has never been stopped, has never been interrupted. For 1400 years, never been interrupted. If it's not people who are outside coming people, at least in Mecca, they are doing it. And in reality, the Hajj has never been interrupted since the Holy Kaaba came down from the paradises. Hajj has been continuing for over 7,000 years. Never interrupted, always coming. Even during the time of the flood of Nuh, where the house of Allah, the original Kaaba, is lifted, the ship of Nuh that goes to Mecca, they circle around 7 times, making the tawaf and going. So, holy times. Learn to leave. Learn to cut away all those ties and all those attachments, all those other ilahs. Whether you say the shahadat or you're not going to say the shahadat, the time will come, guaranteed for everyone, where they will understand that there is no ilah except for Allah. وَإِنَ اللَّهُ تَوْفِيقَ الْفَاتِحَةِ.